guys, it's Irish and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today I will be talking about some informations regarding my immigration status here in the United States. So you all know that I came here through a K-1 visa and I arrived here on April 2018. I got my green card, my 2-year green card on September 25, 2019, and it is now up for renewal. So actually, if you have a 2-year green card, it is called a conditional green card or conditional residence, and it is not really a renewal. Instead, you will need to remove the condition on your residence. So yesterday, I actually submitted the form I-751 or the petition to remove condition on residence. But before that, I received a letter from the USCIS last week, and it is just a reminder that I need to file the form I-751. The letter was actually sent to our old address, which is weird because I am pretty sure that I changed my address or requested to change my address twice. So once was through mail and the other one was online, but they still sent it to the old address. Good thing we still communicate with the new owner, and they told us that I got a letter from the USCIS, so we went there to pick up the letter. It did not tell me the requirements that I need to submit. Instead, it says when you need to submit it. Unless an exception applies, you must jointly file Form I-751 with your U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse in the 90-day period before the second anniversary of when you obtained your conditional permanent resident status. Generally, we will reject your jointly filed Form I-751 if you submit it before the 90-day period. Please use our filing calculator to determine the first day of that 90-day period. USCIS recommends that you have your lawful permanent resident card available so you can find the date it was issued and the date it expires. To find out the earliest date or the beginning of that 90-day period, I can use the filing calculator, which can be found on this link here. There are other situations to where you are exempted to file jointly with your spouse or your step parent, and here are the exceptions. So you may submit the Form I-751 without your spouse or your step-parent if 1. You or your parent entered the marriage in good faith, but your spouse or step-parent subsequently died. 2. You or your parent entered the marriage in good faith, but the marriage was later terminated due to divorce or annulment. 3. You entered the marriage in good faith, but you have been battered or subject to extreme cruelty by your spouse. 4. Your parent entered the marriage in good faith, but you have been battered or subject to extreme cruelty by your parent's spouse or by your conditional resident parent. And lastly, the termination of your status and removal from the United States would result in extreme hardship. So all these exceptions do not apply to me, so then I will need to file jointly with my spouse Kenny. So before I even received this letter, the beginning of this year, I started collecting some evidences that I will be including in my packet. So what are those? First, I started collecting some utility bills that has my name and Kenny's name, which can be used as proof of same address, that we live in the same address. I also collected bank statements. I think I submitted like from January to April bank statements, and also some of the health insurance, dental insurance, and stuff like that. So it is important that you put those evidences that proves that you and your husband or your wife live together in the same address. We got lucky because the first time I got here, we live in a different address, and Kenny had been there for 10 years. So basically, he's all settled and everything was under his name. But when we moved, when we started settling down here in our new address, he tried to put my name on the accounts. So, which is very helpful because now I can prove that we live in the same address. That's one tip. Try to, let's say you already know that your green card, your 2-year conditional green card is up for renewal. Try to start collecting evidences. That is gonna be very useful in the long run. This is how I assembled my I-751 packet. Basically, we'll go to the USCIS website to check when is the earliest date that we can file our I-751. For me, since I got my green card September 25, 2019, the earliest date that I can file was June 27, 2021. I tried to give a little bit of time after that. If you file before that day, the 90-day period, they will not grant the renewal. So just to make sure that I am not too early for the renewal, I tried to move it a little bit after that very first day. So I was just 4 days after the earliest date. Now, before I filled out the form, I printed the instructions for the petition, and I printed it out and make sure that I understand everything that is written here. So everything that is everything that applies to me, I tried to highlight. So as you can see, I highlighted those parts, and I wrote down the earliest date that I could file. So June 27, 2021. Then I also put the requirements that I will need to submit. I got the list of requirements through research and watching other YouTube videos, and I tried to compile all the ideas that I have gotten from those research and videos. I have the cover letter, the filing fee, which is $680. Here is the link for you to calculate how much you need to pay for your petition. It will be $595 for the filing fee and biometrics fee of $85, a total of $680. You can pay through check or money order, but you cannot send cash. So do not send cash to the USCIS, and it is payable to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Do not put initials USDHS. That is not gonna work. You should put or spell it out U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Next, you need to submit the completed form I-751. I will probably make a video on how I filled it out, but this time I will just go through all the requirements that I included in that packet. Okay, I also put the copy of my green card, so I photocopied it front and back. but I only put it on one page. Then the evidences that I included, I have tax return documents 2019 and 2020. I also have the utility bills as I mentioned. I think I included at least 4 months of utility bills. Then bank account. I also have Kenny's birth certificate, a photocopy. I only used his birth certificate just to show proof of his US citizenship. Otherwise, you can use passport, the biographic page, and pages that have a stamp on them. The reason why I used his birth certificate is that Kenny just renewed his passport, and I am confused if I should photocopy the old one and the new one, or the new one or just the old one. So to avoid any complications, I just use his birth certificate. Then I also submitted a copy of our marriage certificate, photocopy of my passport, the biographic and pages with stamps, photocopy of my driver's license and Kenny's driver's license. And I also put insurance policy. So we have the auto insurance, health insurance, and dental insurance. So anything that has your name and your husband's name, or your partner's name will help. And also photos of your trips and with family. So other people just printed pictures of them with their partners and with families and friends, and then added some captions at the back of each picture. For me, this is what I did. I went a little bit over the top. If you guys remember, during my interview for my green card, I brought an entire scrapbook. And during the interview, the USCIS officer took some of the pages, punched holes on them, and included on my file. So this time I have learned my lesson and just, well, I still did it like a scrapbook style, but I only used bond paper and put the pictures, at least 3 to 4 pictures on each page, and add some captions like who were on those pictures, where was the picture taken, and when. So yeah, this is the example. Then I also have 2 sworn affidavits from my mom-in-law and my sister-in-law. Shout out Mom and Bailey, thank you so much for writing the letters for me and Kenny. And also the G1145. Excuse me. So the G1145 is not required, but it is just an e-notification, so that once your petition has been received by USCIS, you will receive a notification from them that they got it. So it's not required, but it will be helpful as well. Same as the sworn affidavit, it is not required, but it is highly recommended. So there you go. I placed all the documents according to the order how I wrote it on my cover letter, and then I put the check at the very top and put binder clip to hold all the documents together. I put it in a yellow envelope and then put a label on it that says I-751. Then I sent it through USPS. So mind you guys, if you are going to send it through USPS, you are going to use this address right here. And if you are going to use FedEx or other courier, use this address. Also, make sure that your address to where you're going to send it is the same address that is written on your cover letter and the sworn affidavits that your family or your friends would wrote for you. Make sure that they all match. So then you also need to make sure that your form or your petition has been signed by you and your spouse, and that you used black ink or you print you're just typewritten it. Okay, you will also see the expiration date here of that form. So as of July 1st 2021, that this one is still valid. It's still the latest or most current form of form I-751, and this is the and this is the edition date, so 12/02/19. We already sent the packet. We're just leaving the post office and it should arrive on Tuesday. I should get a notification once they receive it. I only paid $7.95 because it's USPS, right? USPS.
Yeah.
Oh.
Costly.
So there you have it, guys. I hope you find this video helpful, and I will see you guys on my next other videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.